Morning. I watched a documentary the other day about the struggle that certain ranchers had in Wyoming and in Montana, maintaining their livestock free from the threat of wolves. So these ranchers decided to get together, and they decided that they would together figure out how to get rid of the wolves, the problem. And in decimating that population, then they incurred another problem, which was the overpopulation, the growth of elk and deer. These deer were starving because the wolves weren't there to weed out the population, and there wasn't enough food to sustain these entire herds. So they went to the new growth forests, the deer and the elk, and they stripped the bark off of the new trees and killed the forests before they had a chance to take root. And in losing the forests, the soil began to erode with the seasons, and downhill during rain and snow season, the soil was gathered and rushed down, flooding began, and there was a whole nother problem. Just a chain reaction. And it was fascinating to be reminded of how interconnected we are, right? Creation. Sometimes it feels like that Leaning Tower Jenga game where you pull out one piece and the whole stability of that tower is jeopardized. Have you ever felt that way yourself? Have you ever felt like you're kind of unstable? Your choices that you made early in life have come back now to haunt you in the long-term, long-range effects of some of those simple choices that you never knew would end up the way they did. Or perhaps being slighted at some time and retaining the grudge against the individual to the point where your equilibrium is threatened whenever you think or interact with that person. All you remember is the grudge and the reason that you gave up that friendship. It causes us to stand on unstable ground. It erodes the soil beneath the foundation of our lives. So this COVID time has actually exacerbated this for many people. Many are hanging on by their knuckles. We had no idea that this pandemic, this isolation, would last this long. And it doesn't look like we're out of the woods yet. We still have a stretch to go. For many people, it has been that eroding factor under the foundation of their lives. They've lost the ability to maintain an equilibrium because so much is upended, right? There is nothing that is really normal as we knew it 5-6 months ago. That's forever changed. So what do we do if you find yourself in this situation? Perhaps you have family members that are expressing concern, loving concern for you, wondering how they can help. And you're really not sure what kind of answer to give them, right? Because to you, this instability has now become somewhat normal. So my suggestion is, what often works for me is go outside. Break that connection with the internet, with the TV, with the phone. Set it aside, step away, and allow your restfulness, your breath, your sanity to become restored. Part of the challenge for us in isolation is that the internet, the TV, the computer, the phone have become our lifeline to not feeling as isolated. It's the only connection we have to the real world in many cases. And so we fight to maintain it. It has this sucking, addictive quality to it that we're desperate not to have, not to be connected. In going outside, in going to a park, in riding a bike, in sitting on a patio, walking, breathing, looking up to the sky, even at night before you go to sleep. There is some restorative nature, restorative character to creation. No human-created entity can compete. So finding that equilibrium, critical. Balance, critical. One thing being pulled out of our life has this chain reaction. So be aware of choices you're making. Listen to those who love you. Go outside for good, clean medicine. And allow that restoration to take place. This too will pass if we allow it.